Welcome back. How are you? How you feeling? I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. You know, D3 Sports and Recreational, well, it gives children with autism the opportunity to have fun and engage in activities. Here to discuss the organization in the upcoming new sensory art program, please welcome D3 CEO and co-founder Lizette Hernandez and D3 artist Nelly Escalante. We welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us more about what you guys are doing.
Well, D3 Sports and Recreation it was started it's a year old, so it's very brand new. And it all started because I'm a mom of a child who has autism. He's 10 years old. Yeah. And about 4 years ago, he wanted to play baseball. And so I couldn't find a place in the Bronx. I finally started a challenger program with the Bronxnet Little League. And you know, once baseball was over, I felt really bad. There was nothing else for the children and for the parents to do. So I went ahead and got myself incorporated and started D3 Sports, which is a nonprofit 501c3. Mm-hmm. And so now we're starting our first sensory art program for the children.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right. So what are some of the different programs that you guys have within this organization?
Well, right now we are going on our 4th year of Challenger Baseball. And sensory art, this is our first time doing this. Mm-hmm. So we've had a couple of holiday events. We're going to have our second sensory quiet Santa holiday event, December 17th. And we had our first Halloween event in October. So, you know, right now my goal is to keep growing and to be able to provide more services.
And what part do you play?
Well, I will be leading the sensory art program. I'm so excited about it because we'll be exploring different materials. And I also have a child on the spectrum, and we do a lot of these activities that we'll be doing with our kids. So if your child likes to get messy and just really is sensory needy, we'll be exploring with different traditional and non-traditional materials, but also if you have a child who doesn't want to get messy, you know, and there, you know, as we know, not every autistic child is alike. There are some kids that you know don't like to get dirty, and we'll also have alternatives for that child as well. So definitely, I hope that we get a good turnout.
Speak to the people who don't know. You mentioned something about spectrum as it relates to autism. Tell us about that.
Sure. Do you want to talk about that?
I think there's a quote that they say, if you met one child with autism, you met one child with autism. Some of their behaviors may be similar in some of the what they call stims, or when they're overly stimulated, they kind of have like these certain behaviors that they use in order to calm themselves down. So you have flapping, sometimes they may, you know, pull their ears.
Now, you didn't know anything about this.
I had no idea.
You've done your research, you've lived it, you've experienced it.
Yeah, and I'm still learning.
And now you're talking the lingo.
You know, it's still very brand new. I mean, autism's been around for many, many years, but it seems to be a higher prevalence now. I don't know if it's because there's early detection and people are talking more about it, and they see that there's this spectrum, whereas before there was just extremes, you know, children who were nonverbal, who didn't speak, who isolated themselves. Those were the kind of autism stories that you heard, but now we see that children, it's a spectrum. You have children that are, you know, low functioning, you have some children that are very high functioning and may go undetectable as far as having autism.
And yet people with autism grow up to be very prominent people in our society, doing great things.
And that's,
I can definitely speak to that because I have 2 kids on the spectrum, and one is very high functioning and the other one is not as much. And so, you know, that's what this program is all about, you know, and so we're going to have activities that each child, like all the kids that are on the different sides of the spectrum can really engage in.
And how do these activities help?
Well, as we know, kids with autism have sensory needs. Sure. And so sometimes they don't feel their body, sometimes they really need to feel materials. And so this program allows...
They're communicating in a different way.
Exactly, exactly, in a whole new different way. Mm-hmm. And it allows kids to express themselves through art, whether, you know, you're verbal and nonverbal, whether you have sensory needs, whether you don't. So it's just an amazing program, and I'm excited about it because it's all about the process. We're going to have a lot of fun through the process. I'm someone who really tries to talk about the process more than the product. And although we're going to create these sculptures and textured paintings, we're also going to be having fun in the process, and that's really the most important thing.
Now, how important are these recreational sports activities for kids with autism?
For me, they're important because there's, I mean, for me, there's very little out there for children on the spectrum. And I think with D3 Sports, what I, try to make happen is that they get to be in a typical type setting, like with baseball. It's tailored to their needs, but if you're on a real baseball field, you have bleachers, you're running the bases. So it's tailored to their needs, but it's a typical setting that most parents who, when they hear that their child had autism, didn't think they would be able to experience.
How did you guys meet? Because you have to create a harmony within anything that you want to get involved in. So you created a harmony within the spectrum of autism
And
that you have to deal with.
that's my goal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so how did you guys come together?
I'm a witness to this. My younger son is very energetic, hard to keep still, very sensory needy. And so when I heard about the baseball program, and I thought like, maybe that's not for him. And I reached out to Lizette, and Lizette, just calmed my fears. She made this a place, a safe haven, not just for kids, but for parents. I don't have to worry that my kid is flapping or running around, or, it's a place where we're all accepted. And I'm just so grateful that
parents
we do
have to deal with it
haven.
too, just
Yeah,
as well
sure.
as the
Yeah,
kids.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Parents, they said, caregivers need help and need some understanding also. Now, there's a
Definitely.
big event coming up. Tell us about that.
Oh, we have our holiday event, which is December 17th, and we'll have like really great sensory activities for the kids and games, and then they have a chance to meet Santa and take a picture with them. Sometimes going to department stores, waiting on long lines, the noise, the lights, it kind of bothers them. So we give families an opportunity to be able to get that
Yeah,
experience.
so you guys can more or less view the world through the eyes of your kids, because you've
Exactly.
grown up
Yeah.
with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we've learned so much from them,
Yes.
I see the world much differently through their eyes, just this whole sense. As an artist, I've learned to work differently with materials in ways that I haven't worked before because of my child. So it's an amazing journey.
Are you raising money?
We are. We're always looking for donations, sponsors for our baseball league. You can always go to our website, D3
I'm going to give you this
Sports and
camera
Rec.
right here. Here's the camera. Twin is on this camera. Twin one. Just reach that camera and let
D3
everybody know.
Sports is a a very brand new organization. We are too young to really receive a lot of grants, even though we're trying. So anyone out there who wants to help, please feel free to contact us at info@D3 Sports and Recreation, and you can also check out our website, d3sportsandrec.org.
There you go. Let's
Changing the life of not just kids, but parents
Parents
as well.
Yeah.
give them a big hand, everybody. Lisette Hernandez, CEO, co-founder of D3 Recreational Sports, and Nelly Escalante, the artist. Thank
Awesome.
you guys so
Thank
much.
you so much.
All right, come back and
Appreciate it.
share more, right?
Anytime.
Wait, don't go yet.
Oh, don't go.
We
Okay.
have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more next.
Awesome. Thank